Hello and welcome to episode 209 of the Heart of Markness Led Zeppelin podcast. I am Mark. Welcome. Every Thursday, I put out a podcast playing some songs from extraining some things with the, Led Zeppelin shows, Page Plant shows, Led Zeppelin adjacent shows, The Firm, Coverdale Page, Zoe Crows, Them Crooked Vultures, all that stuff. You know how I do. Maybe, if it's your first time, you don't know how I do. This is how I do. This is how we do it. I have to re-record this because I thought I had a terrible source for the show. I thought I had an overdriven, distorted source for the show, and I spent 5 minutes explaining this is the best one I could find. I don't know what's wrong. It sounded good earlier, but it was, in fact, my digital audio converter into which I plug my headphone. Was not plugged in completely to the USB drive. So it was lit up and it was doing its job, but for some reason it was fuzzing out. Man, and it freaked out because I played back my audio track and it was distorted, like of my speaking. I'm like, oh fuck, this is the end. But it wasn't. Everything's fine. Howdy doody. So I just need you to refer back to that previous 5-minute audio clip that I recorded but did not include for everything else, all the information about the song, the show and everything, because I don't want to repeat myself. All right, here we go. No, just kidding. June 25th, day before my father's birthday. 1995. Glastonbury, UK, which is short for England. Actually, it's England and Wales and Scotland and North Ireland. Okay, cool. Thank you. Uh-oh. That's the universe telling me to knock it off. Oh, nice. I'm getting 2 slices of pizza from my housemate when she gets home from work. That's good. I will not tell her about the 2 slices of pizza that I got myself and ate already, which gives me 4 slices of pizza. See, I'm a math major. All right, June 25th, 1995, the Glastonbury Festival. Giant festival every year. Multiple stages. Very, very cool. We've all seen it. Oasis and those guys every year. There's a great big, the main stage. Who's going to be the main stage? Paul McCartney did it a couple years ago, and even though he's 7,000 years old, he's in his 80s now. He's probably in his late 70s then, if not 80, and he played a 3-hour set. This is Page Plant in 95 playing a set. It is great. I do not have the whole set because without, Page Plant shows are a little harder to find. You know, they're not as common as Led Zeppelin shows in the areas where I look and lurk. And having lost access to having lost access to the Dogs of Doom drive, like everybody else did when that all collapsed. But they didn't have much of a Page Plant thing anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I had to take what I could get. I got this off of Guitars 101. It is a FLAC rip of a silver bootleg. It is 8 tracks. It is not the whole show. It includes Gallows Pole, Since I've Been Loving You, Song Remains the Same, Friends, Calling to You, Smokestack Lightning-Break on Through-Dazed and Confused. That's all one song. Calling to You, Smokestack Lightning-Break on Through and Dazed. Into 4 Sticks, In the Evening, and Kashmir as the closer, as it should be. This is a hot show. I enjoy it. I know I've told you I've had a Page Plant show from 96 in Australia, I think, that I've sat on because it did not spark joy in me. I listened to it and I'm like, I mean, it was good, but there was none of that, yeah. So, this had some of that, yeah. I pulled the mic back that time. Sorry, I overdrove before. And I listened to it. I was listening to on YouTube a compilation of all the 1973 North American tour no quarter solos, like a 3-hour, clip of all the. It's great. Oh my God, it's how I fell in love with that St. Paul show that I covered a little while back. But I was listening to it. I was in bed, and I must have. I'm sure I nodded off and fell asleep, and woke up to Page Plant playing in Glastonbury, and it was hot. It was steaming hot, and it was awesome, and it was really good, and it was on fire, and it was it was what I was looking for. And, probably playing in front of a zillion, trillion people gives a great feedback. And, it highlighted what a good band they were. I know I give him shit sometimes for having, Robert's son-in-law on bass, but I mean, he's a good bass player. That's the thing. The band is solid and tight. It was just, Jimmy, for the reconciliation agreement, Jimmy had to walk in and basically play guitar in Robert's band in 95, which is why in 95, like at Glastonbury, you see a very, very happy Robert Plant. And then as time goes on, the hourglass tips over and starts filling on the other end. And as time goes on, we see a happier and happier Jimmy Page. Not that he wasn't happy before, he was delighted, but as he wins over the musicians and they become his band. And then Robert said, "Oh, that's a neat trick. I'm out." And because of that, none of us get good Led Zeppelin merch anymore. We get sneakers and snowboards and skateboards, but not live shit. Although Jimmy himself, on his own YouTube channel, you've probably seen this, released an instrumental theme of the Rain song that he had concocted himself in his home studio. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's professionally recorded, professionally mixed in his home studio, not like a giant thing, but it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And it's not just an instrumental Rain song. It is different. Jimmy plays the mellotron on it. It's all Jimmy playing the instruments. So he could circumvent the nightmarish, gauntlet-like, Kafka-esque Led Zeppelin business meetings, which result in all these great things being vetoed, all these live recordings like Southampton 73, etc., being vetoed by somebody. Must be Jonesy. No, actually, Jonesy sold his interest or divested his interest. He doesn't do the business meeting things anymore. He's out, which is good for him. It must be interminably frustrating to be sitting there and having Jimmy going, "Well, I found these demos and I found these outtakes and I found these cool other songs. I think we could do a really big thing for the 50th anniversary, blah, blah, blah." And having Robert go, "No, because if somebody hears a great live version of Over the Hills and Far Away that they'd never heard before, they won't go see me and Alison Krauss," because that's how that works. Christ almighty. All right. Well, I'm going to stop bitching. Hey, 8 minutes. What, 3 minutes longer than the last time. All right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play 3 songs. I could go sequentially, but not sequentially without interfering, but that's not my job. My job is to literally talk around the music. So I shall do so. But I'm going to stop talking now and get to the first thing. Again, June 25th, 1995, Glastonbury Festival. We're going to listen to Calling to You, Robert Plant solo track off of his Fate of Nations album, which was his last solo project before he hooked up with Jimmy. They would each do one of their solo tunes in the set on the 95 tour. It did not continue past that, I don't think. Maybe in 96, I don't remember. So Calling to You is off of Fate of Nations. It goes into Smokestack Lightning, which goes into Break On Through. The Doors song Break On Through to the other side, into a little bit of Dazed and Confused. It's nice, it's fun, it's very high energy. The audience is feeling it, they're feeling it. It is good times. Enjoy it.
Day turns into night, the night turns into day. Still we come, still we hide. We come through to the other side. We come through to the other side. We come through to the other side. Yeah. The cursed our treasures here, the soul our treasures there. Still we come, still we hide. We come through to the other side. We come through to the other side. We come through. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. Been dazed and confused for so long it's not true. Wanted a woman and a bargain for you. Lots of people talking, few of them know. Some of the world is created below. You're hurt and abused, told all your lies. When rents we made it, how you hypnotized. I don't know where you're going, I don't know just where you've been. Sweet little lady, I want you. It's calling to you, calling to you, calling to you. It's calling to you, calling to you, calling to you. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty goddamn badass. And that's why this podcast has an explicit tag. Because I swear sometimes. And that's why I get a tenth the audience I should. It's all right. That was really, really great. That was really, really great. Now, that thing before they went into Smokestack Lightning, after Calling to You, that... That was carried through the 95-96 tour. I recall it as being part of Whole Lotta Love. They might have moved it to that point. But in this, it was part of the Calling to You thingo. Very, very good. Very, very hot. Fun. Good band. Dialed in. Locked in. Jimmy was playing great. Robert singing his heart out. Very tight. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Alrighty. Still June 25th, 1995. Nothing's changed. Next song I'm gonna play for you is Four Sticks. Why? Because I never play Four Sticks because I don't really like that song that much. But you might. And there are songs that I play all the fucking time, which is the song I'm going to play after Four Sticks. So this makes up for all those Dazed and Confused, Whole Lot of Loves that I've played over the years because they're the best songs, man. I want to play a 35-minute Whole Lot of Love with 800,000 medleys. It's magical. So Four Sticks. Now this at the time had the Egyptian pharaohs, or the Egyptian, Moroccan, Lebanese pharaohs, bunch of Middle Eastern percussion dudes who were part of a percussion ensemble, a concussion ensemble, as it were, and a Middle Eastern string orchestra. Same instruments, just plays it a little reedier sounding. But with all those hand drums going on, lots of polyrhythms, Four Sticks is even doper because it's not four sticks, it's two sticks and like 10 hands. So enjoy Two Sticks, 10 Hands, carrot, pod. Enjoy.
Oh, baby, it's crying time. Oh, baby, I've got to fly. I've got to try and find a way. I've got to try and find a way, yeah. Oh, baby, the river's red. Oh, baby, it's in my hair. I feel a funny feeling going on. I don't think I can hold out long. I'm in the out sky in the night. Oh, baby, when the pines begin to cry. Oh, baby, how do you feel? If the rivers run dry, baby, how do you feel?
That was badass. That was absolutely badass. Robert is really putting his all into this show. I mean, not that he doesn't the other shows, but, you know, sometimes you have that little extra that you can push through. And man, his voice was strong. And he had it. He had really good control over his voice at this point in his career. He still had the screams. I mean, he kept that. He still has the scream now. It's just you have fewer in your pocket, so you don't use them as much. But damn, what a good vocal performance. What a good everything performance. And those Egyptian, Lebanese, and Moroccan percussionists really, really add a layer of love to it, in my opinion. Since the weird 7-11 time signature, or set of 7, set of 11 repetition, I think is what it is. I'm not going to count it out now. Is very indicative or close to that area as well as India. So cool shit, man. Now, you know what else is cool? The Titans upon whose shoulders rests this humble yet mighty podcast. These are the current patrons on my patreon.com/heartofmarkness who support the podcast materially and allow me to speak through the microphone that they bought, post to the SoundCloud account that they bought, post the show to the Mega cloud account that they bought, onto my website that they bought the hosting for, so you can get this show for free at heartofmarkness.com if you'd like. Again, it's not the whole show, it's just the songs I read you off earlier, but you can get it for free, heartofmarkness.com. Go there now, find the show, download it, own it, hug it to your breast, name it, solve all the problems in your life. That's why they are Titans. They solve all the problems in your life. Now, if they would only solve all the problems in my life. But they solve a bunch of them. And they are Keith and Tilda, Brian, Matt and Celicia, Steve, Big Ed. Thank you for your note, Big Ed. I'm going to reply to it as soon as I'm done with the podcast. Kenny, John from West Footscray, Picard, Kneggern, Rob from Melbourne, Australia, Wayne, Brad, Danielle, Tracy, with whom I had a wonderful ongoing text conversation. Well, which I'm having a wonderful ongoing text conversation. There we are. David, Bonzo, Billy, and Mimo. Bravo. Thank you, my friends. You make it all possible. I did the patron episode for March. I don't know. I can't remember if I did it before or after I did last week's episode. It is a bunch of... I discovered or had shared with me a demo tape of Jimmy Page and Paul Rodgers in early 1984, January 1984, or maybe late December 1983. Just a piano, guitar, and a drum machine. In a studio, though. Not in a rehearsal space. Maybe at Jimmy's, I don't know. And they're working up material, and there were 3 songs that they were fucking around with that never appeared on any Firm album, which were really good and really neat. It was neat to hear Jimmy play. He was very much playing like Arms Concert Jimmy, XYZ Project Jimmy, Death Wish Jimmy, and not like the Firm Jimmy, and by which I mean the effects, the flange and the chorus and all those things that obscure and blur playing. But were also very popular in the 80s. So it was a neat thing, and I was delighted to find it, and I was delighted to share it with my patrons. You know, I share the deeper stuff on Patreon. It's one of the perks of being a patron of mine is you get a podcast a month, and it's usually deep dive stuff, Jimmy Page and Roy Harper kind of thing. You know, just the kind of stuff that's like so niche that it wouldn't warrant a podcast. Or something so iffy like studio content, outtakes, rehearsals, things like that, which I don't like to include on the show because they're a little less defensible on a copyright thing, which is why my 200th episode can't go on YouTube. Too much of that shit. All right. Well, thank you, friends. If you want to be a patron, go to patreon.com/heartofmarkness, or click the Patreon banner on heartofmarkness.com when you're grabbing the free shows. Yo, I'm also on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook as Heart of Markness. There's a couple hundred people in the Heart of Markness Facebook group. It's a fun one to join. Everyone's nice. The most contentious it ever got was, I cannot possibly believe he did. Well, I believe he did, which is, for the internet, pretty fucking civil. Twitter as well. Follow me on Twitter. Be friends with me on Twitter. I like Twitter. Fine. I like it better than Facebook. I'll talk to you. You can talk to me. I'll say, hey, what's going on? You'll say, hey, what's going on? I love your podcast. You're the coolest guy in the world. You changed my whole life. Love me. Love me. And I'll say, thank you very much for listening. All right. One more song, friendos. And it is one of the songs I always play, and I always play it when it's a Page Plant concert. Sorry. In the Evening. Last time I played it in the evening, which was the last Page Plant show I did, which wasn't that long ago. At all, really. I talked about how I love In the Evening because of the aforementioned percussionists and orchestra in the background. Because all those hand drums and polyrhythms in the background underneath In the Evening, holy fuck. And I kept saying, oh, I cannot wait to find a show that has the right balance of that so you can hear it perfectly, what I'm talking about. This one comes close. It may not be 100%. I don't remember. This is the song that I woke up to when I was listening to the No Quarters and then woke up in the middle of this. And it is hot. It is good. It is tight. It is really, really fucking badass. I hope you like it. Got a little bit of, as you know, if you've heard Page Plant before live, there's a slow section in the middle of In the Evening that used to have, when played live by Zeppelin, a ridiculous John Paul Jones keyboard piece. That was it. Yeehaw. In place of that atrocity, they played a bit of Carousel Alhambra, the slow part of Carousel Alhambra. Well, you'll hear it. Won't be as good as what I did in my Bobby McFerrin way. That's what I should do. I should Bobby McFerrin a Zeppelin song. That'd be awful. Awful funny. All right. In the Evening, friends. Glastonbury fucking kick-ass show. Kick-ass band. Kick-ass performance. Let's kick ass.
expected you go. Strength was your honor, luck was your Thank you very kindly.
Bravo! That had a mix that you could hear that percussion in the right hand channel, kind of right above your right brow, if you're listening to headphones, stretching over to kind of where your ear is. You can hear those percussions when they come back from the carousel amber break. Whew, chills. And then the violin. I liked it. And Mr. Page is playing. Top notch. Top notch. Usually he just noodles around for the in the evening solo. This one, I mean, he was noodling around, but there was some good shit in there. And oh my God, the perfect pitch with the oh, man. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I like this episode. I hope you did too. Oh, hey, remember last week on that March 21st, 1975 Northbridge Remaster remix? Well, I heard from Mr. Northbridge Remaster, and it is not a matrix of the recording. The torrent name said matrix, so it's just not me being a complete idiot. Well, it is because I didn't hear any fucking audience on it, and I still said it. But Mr. Northbridge said, "It is not a matrix of an audience recording and soundboard. It's just the soundboard, which I remixed from mono into stereo and then remastered." So apologies, Northbridge Remasters, for muddying the water there on your provenance. Thank you for clarifying. And apologies to you, people, for getting the wrong information. It is your fault, though, now that I think about it. And that's the people, not you, Northbridge. You are blameless. If I had a better audience, I wouldn't say things that are wrong. There we go. Blame shifted. I'm still good. All right, guys. Honestly, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week with another Led Zeppelin 1 or Led Zeppelin themed one. And I will probably get a nice classic rock episode, bonus episode out this weekend. I am alone this weekend, so I will have time to do so. And for those of you new to the podcast, sometimes I put out bonus episodes. It started during the pandemic when everybody was just at home going crazy because the world was ending. This is after that perfect little first couple weeks when everybody's, I've just started baking again. Or, oh, my goodness, look, the skies are clearing, the pollution's gone. Or as Tim Dillon says, the dolphins are back. The dolphins are back. And then it ends up with a guy in a Viking helmet storming the Capitol. Not my bit, Tim Dillon's bit. But during that lovely, lovely time, I did episodes like this, but for artists other than Led Zeppelin, just other classic rock artists. Neil Young, Unable to Think, Lou Reed, Camper Van Beethoven, everybody. It focused around the weekly release by the Gems tape group of Mike Millard's formerly thought to be lost master tapes. So every week they release a master or a first-gen Mike Millard tape, who's a legendary taper. And if it jived with my interests, or with what I thought would be interests of my listeners, then I would share it and talk about it and play some songs from it. And I will probably, and I still do that every once in a while, maybe once a month-ish. It should be more, but I can't log in another. I can't commit to another podcast a week, man. It's, although I should. Maybe I will. But anyway, you'll probably get one this weekend. I don't know who it's going to be. Oh, maybe I can give you a little heads up. Or you can tell me. Here, I'll give you some choices. I'm not saying I'll obey you. Oh, I do still have that. Good. I'm looking at my list of shit I have, and I have a Radiohead show or compilation that I was going to share with a friend. Okay, la 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 la. Jackson Browne from 1990. Lou Reed from 1992. Lou Reed from 1980. These are not Mike Millard tapes, by the way. Peter Gabriel from 1988. I'm not playing that. I listened to it. The sound isn't great. It's an Amnesty International concert. It doesn't. I know Peter Gabriel's awesome, but this particular one is not it. The Police from 1979. Warren Zevon from 1978. Willie Nelson from 1978. That one I might do. That'll be a fun one. I've had that forever. I've had that for almost 2 years. All right. So maybe I'll do that, which means I won't. All right. Thank you for listening. I love you. Please be good to yourselves and be good to each other. And I'll talk to you soon.